Well, my name is YUSEF. I'm the president and founder of Azomco Global, and I played professional basketball for 12 years, which took me all around the world. Stops in Europe and Germany and Amsterdam, and then I played in Brazil, and then took my talents to the Middle East, to Kuwait and Qatar. And then in 2022, I came to Rwanda, and I founded Azomco Global.
Here in Rwanda, Rocco League, it seems like some teams has more money power than others.
Yeah.
Don't you think it has a bad side for the competition?
Yeah, I definitely do, because they just gave me this, which is really, really special. It's a gift that says
It's amazing.
Yeah, Azomco women's basketball.
That's amazing.
The cow horns and the outline of the country of Rwanda. So.
Hey everyone, I hope you're doing good. This is Fabrice, Ballerzone podcast. First of all, we are sorry. We are very sorry. It's been a while. We've been quiet, but we're back. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. But we're back. We are going to drop 2 podcasts in a week, Tuesday and Thursday, inshallah. Today we have a good conversation with Coach YUSEF Aziz, the president of Azomco, a club which is facing 2 different seasons, where the women's team is thriving, the men's team is still searching for their first win. We are going to talk about how to build a winning culture when one club is flying high and the other side is just still struggling. Let's find out in this podcast. Stay tuned. Coach YUSEF.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think the last time we were talking, did we win the championship in D2 or it was before?
Before championship.
Okay.
Yeah. Ramadan Kalim.
Ramadan Mubarak. Thank you so much, man. I've been fasting. I just got back to breaking my fast with the girls team, and it's a blessing. Thank you so much.
All right. Before we start the podcast, would you please make some introduction for the fans?
Okay, yeah. Well, my name is YUSEF Aziz. I'm the president and founder of Azomco Global, which is a basketball club based here in Rwanda. We have a men's team in Division I and a women's team as well. I'm originally from the U.S., Seattle, Washington, and I played professional basketball for 12 years, which took me all around the world. Stops in Europe and Germany and Amsterdam, and then I played in Brazil, and then took my talents to the Middle East, to Kuwait and Qatar. So after I got done playing basketball, a natural transition was to start to get into coaching. I completed my master's degree in education, which also helped me with coaching.
Okay.
So I was coaching for about 5 years at a university in Qatar. And then in 2022, I came to Rwanda and I founded Azomco Global.
Now I get where coach came from. All right. What inspired you to come to Rwanda and make a teams here?
So I first visited Rwanda in 2018.
You told us before.
Yeah, this was during the time of the World Cup, the football World Cup. I remember going around watching all the games. We watched the France-Croatia and Camp Kigali on the big screen. It was really lively. We had a lot of fun. And I didn't visit it again until 2022. The first time I visited, I had no basketball experience here in the country. So it was just more of a holiday vacation. But in 2022, I'll tell you a quick story. So I'm at Pili on a Sunday eating lunch with my family, and this taller guy came up to me. He said, you look tall. Yeah. Did you play basketball? I was like, yeah, I played basketball a little bit. He's like, I want to play basketball as well. I want to try out for the Patriots. Maybe you can help me. I said, okay, well, I'll go down to the tryouts with you. And,
sorry, you remember his name?
Yeah, Nicholas.
Nicholas.
Yeah, Nicholas.
Nicholas.
Yeah.
He's playing now?
No. He was a waiter at Pili.
Okay, yeah.
So we went down to the old Petit Stade, and the Patriots were training. And, you know, I went with him and I told him to go. So it's better to go early so he can stretch and be ready, prepared. And as we came to the Petite Stade, remember there was the Shoot for the Stars, the academy, the basketball academy. They were dribbling balls. They had like 30 kids dribbling balls outside in the parking lot. Then when we got into the gym, the APR men's and the APR women's volleyball team, the women's volleyball team was practicing first, and the APR men's volleyballs was on the side, you know, doing their bumps and their spikes and stuff like that. And then later on in the evening, the Patriots basketball team came in. So I just saw like there was a big demand for sports, and there wasn't a lot of facilities, you know. And then I got to watch the Patriots practice that day, and I came up with just kind of, you know, like, okay, there's maybe I could offer something here in terms of high quality coaching. And so I actually consulted with Louis Maganga, the Shoot for the Stars director, and the coach and the president of the Shoot for the Stars club for that season, just giving them some, you know, strategic advice, and helped a little bit with like the player development and stuff like that. And I got to know more and more about Rwandan basketball. So that's kind of how the idea started. It's just through like a random experience, pretty much.
All right. What was your first experience about Rwandan basketball culture?
So that was it.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. Now from there, then I started attending the games, Shoot for the Star games. You know, they were playing on the outdoor courts behind the BK Arena. They used to have an outdoor court there, and they used to play most of the league games there, or at IPRC Kigali. But from then to now, I have seen a tremendous increase in terms of development. Obviously, with the Petite Stade being renovated and games taking place now in LDK, it really, really helps the league.
Yeah. Recently, you initiated a women team. What was the biggest challenge did you face while introducing the women team?
Before we find the challenge, let's go back to the why.
Why?
Yeah. So the reason why we started the Azomco women's basketball team was because the women asked for it. You know, they saw that what Azomco brought to the table on the men's side, and you know, how we were kind of a little bit different than some of the other clubs in Rwanda. And you know, as we were having success in Division II on the men's side, we used to get bombarded with inquiries and messages, you know, and the girls were like, when are you going to start a women's team? And, you know, we want this opportunity too. And don't forget about the women, you know.
So they pushed you.
They kept on asking and asking and asking and asking. And so our general secretary, Layla, it was something that she had passion for as well, being a former player herself. So we decided now could be the good time. So we launched. It's her time to shine. The launching of Azomco's first women's team. And the challenge from the immediate was you got to make a team. Like, you know, we had absolutely zero players. Yeah. So the first thing we did, hire a coach, Coach Emmanuel. He has a lot of experience in the league, both on the men's and the women's side. And then we had tryouts in November. Out of the tryouts, we had about 130 inquiries, but some of them were outside of the country. But on the day that we had, on the first day of tryouts, we had just under 100 participants.
I was there.
Yeah, you remember? Yeah, so we went from day one from about 90, and we cut that in half from 90 to 45. 45, we cut it in half again from 45 to about 20, and then from the last day, day 3, we had difficult decisions to make from about 20 down to 15. And those 15 girls are now the girls that on our team, our roster. So we just built that. I mean, that's just November. So you have December, January, February, and we're in March. Just 4 months ago.
4 months, yeah. Your men's team has finished the first leg without any win.
Yeah.
What do you think was the biggest struggle?
You know, we took a little bit different approach with the men's team. You know, we carried a lot of guys over, about 4 or 5 guys from our Division II team, you know, so we were really trying to go in terms of, you know, having those guys get the experience and try to develop. as opposed to where most teams are just trying to get the finished product. Just say, oh, we're going to buy this player, we're going to buy this player, we're going to buy this player. During free agency, it was a bit of a challenge because I felt that as we were pursuing potential free agents, some players in the league were a little bit hesitant to maybe sign with the club, whether it be because we're a new club and maybe they just thought that maybe they were questioning about the competitiveness of us, or even the management stuff, salaries and all that stuff. They were a little bit doubtful, so I understood that there was like only about 3 or 4 teams, ex-players on their former teams, who we could really have the ability to sign. Those upper echelon clubs like Rag Patriots, APR and stuff, those players, Tigers even, they weren't really interested at this particular point in time to sign with a new club that's just coming out from Division II. So we made some acquisitions, and we did the very best that we could, and so that has been a challenge. But it has been a challenge.
Yeah, you still got time, but
yeah, for sure.
You still got time, but don't you think you going back to Division II?
I mean, we'll see. I mean, we have a whole leg. We take it one game at a time. I've noticed that towards the end of the first leg, we have been becoming more and more competitive.
Yeah.
So really, I mean, if it can come down to just winning a couple more games, that could be the difference. So I definitely think that we can win a couple of games in the next leg, and that should alleviate us from being relegated.
All right. Is there any moment that gave you a hope despite the loss?
Yeah. The fact that I was just at practice today, and the boys are hungry for a win. They're not giving up. They're not. Of course, they're frustrated, but they're not discouraged.
Yeah.
I like the way that we played against Tigers, and we should have won the Orion match. So it's just we're moving in the right direction, and it took us more time than we expected. But it's a process,
It's a process. Yeah,
so
sure.
I understand that it's a process.
What is your mindset about second leg, or your short-term goal for the team?
We have to win a game.
Specific for the boys.
2 games, yeah. So 2 games. Our goal is really to win 2 games.
2 games.
I think that if we can win 2 games, it would help alleviate the possibility. So if we can win 2 games and possibly even get a 3rd game, but what more importantly, not more importantly than winning is probably the most important thing. But we want to see them compete. We don't want to have wide margins of defeat or anything. So they need to be more consistent in their approach. And when it comes to the competing, for all 4 quarters, in the first couple of the games, it was like, we came out first quarter, it was a nice game, and it was very competitive. And then after halftime, as the 3rd quarter started to wane, and the deficit became bigger and bigger and bigger. So we're trying to definitely avoid that.
Is there a roster change for you are considering about to change the result?
So we have 2 good import players, or 3 good import players, but what we're lacking is a post player, and we kind of had one, but it didn't really work out, and so we're a little bit thin in the front line. So we are looking to make an acquisition, and we have verbally have an agreement. So it's just a matter of time. He's actually playing in another league at the moment. So we're just waiting for the end of March so that player can come join us sometime in the beginning of April. But I think that would help because, it's kind of what we need. We need somebody in the front line to help us rebound, to help us block shots, to be a presence in the paint.
Yeah.
Because our team is mostly centered around the perimeter play, which is completely opposite than what we were going on last year, Division II. But our strength is more the perimeter player, a point guard, a shooter, and stuff. So having an additional post player will really help us tremendously.
All right. Is there from Rwanda or?
Pardon me?
Those two players you're saying, those two
yeah.
imports.
So one is a Rwandan. I think he'll be playing on Sunday, and then the other one is able to play as a Rwandan because he has been able to.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Because you have a lot of foreigners players. I think.
We have three.
You have three. All right. Let's leave about your team.
Okay.
Do you think Rwanda is doing a good in terms of development, like basketball development or player development? What do you think? Specifically for player development.
Okay, specifically for player development, I think it could be better. Honestly, I think there is a instant gratification type of approach in most cases, you know, because let's be honest, player development takes time.
Sure.
So that's what we have done, you know, and that's what we are doing. But it seems like, you know, clubs they don't want to waste time. They want to win now. They want to allocate the resources in order to bring the players who can give them the best chances at winning. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't really see an academy that is really, really focused on younger youth. You know, of course they have schools, secondary schools. There's a Division II league, but something that is, you know, is well known for player development. I think that is something that's lacking. We have flirted with the idea to kind of take into that role where, you know, start a little bit earlier, maybe like, you know, under 14, like, you know, under, you know, 14 to 16 range, and really, really start, you know, providing quality basketball coaching for younger kids. But in order to do that, we really need to have our own facility, you know, somewhere we can call home, somewhere we can work out of, you know, somewhere where we can be able to, somewhere that's conducive to our mission. And until then, I don't think that we were gonna get into youth basketball until we have our own facility.
Speaking for the facility, last time you told us that excuse me, you're going to build a court.
Yeah, it's still the goal. That is the priority. We have worked with so many different.
I know.
Yeah, so many different type of agreements and stuff, and we haven't found one that is suitable at this particular moment in time. But you know, it's something that is our top priority at the moment.
Right. Here in Rwanda, Rocco League, it seems like some teams has more money power than others.
Yeah.
Don't you think it has a bad side for the competition?
Yeah, I definitely do, because and it also hinders the overall hinders the overall competition. And I'll tell you why. You know, for example, there are some teams in the league that, you know, end up spending a lot of money on they buy players, and they already have a full roster of, you know, 12, 14 players.
Sure.
And then now they're adding 2 more players, 3 more players who have really well, you know, they're decent players. But now they're sitting up in the stands, you know, on game day, you know, not even being able to get to play because this team has good local players, then they have good foreign players. You know, and then they have the players who can play as a local player. And, you know, these new players, if you were to spread them out around the league, it would make the league very, very more competitive.
Sure.
And I think the solution to that is to implement a salary cap. You know, a salary cap to say that, okay, I mean, this is what happens in most professional sports. In the NBA, you know, teams have to abide by a salary cap. So say, for example, you know, a team, you can't spend over 200 million on your team budget. You know? You can't spend over 200 million on your team budget.
Sure.
Yeah. And if this was the case, then that excess of those players, or they just buying, adding to the roster, they would be able to go to other teams. You know, so I think that's something that maybe the federation can take a look at it, just so they can add more parity to the overall league and the competitiveness.
Maybe financial fair play to promote that balance.
They could do that as well. Yeah, could do that as well. But yeah, they could do that as well.
Yeah.
That's another idea.
If you could bring a major change to Rwanda like local league, what would it be?
That would be one. My suggestions about a salary cap.
I mean, despite those money power, all teams have a lot of money to spend. Some change.
Yeah, I'm not so much adverse to teams having a lot of money to spend. I don't think that is in itself is an issue, because you still have to go play. You know, you still have to go win the game, and that is professional sports. But if I had to, are you saying add something, or are you saying to
the major fact that would change the basketball system in Rwanda?
One would be more youth programs.
Youth
programs, because then you would have more talent. You know, if you start youth programs now, 5 years from now, the Rwanda League would be much more talented. You have a lot more players.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I think the approach that they have done has been successful. I mean, let's be honest. Let's be fair and say that, like I said, 5 years ago to now, the league has improved tremendously.
Sure.
So they're moving in the right direction, and you know, that's a good credit to when credit is due. But yeah, I mean, of course, there can always be improvements overall. But you know, I think overall, it's moving in the right direction.
Sure.
But youth program, getting the kids to start earlier, and actually having more facilities.
Youth program.
Yeah. Youth programs and facilities.
I think we are trying to get facilities.
Yeah.
Our government tries to build more facilities.
Yeah.
Finally, what the message would you give the fans, give the basketball community in Rwanda?
Yeah, I think Rwanda is something that's very unique in African basketball, in the fact that, you know, it seemed like there's been a real jolt of enthusiasm for basketball, and I think this has become as a result of the BAL. So Rwanda has positioned themselves to kind of have a league, a really developed league, a really professional league, and it's moving in the right direction. So for the fans, for the companies, to get involved, because at the end of the day, the more people are involved, the better off it's going to be for everyone. You know, the community and the corporations and the teams and the players and the fans. You know, I think that they really have a good potential to really have something special here. In terms of their league. And it's growing quite rapidly. I mean, you see more interest in sponsorships and marketing. And the fact that I wasn't at the game, but I heard when APR played Patriots in the BK Arena.
It was at Batista last game.
The one before.
The one before.
Was it Reg? I think it was Reg.
It was Reg vs. Reg against APR.
Okay, yeah. But, it shows that people are interested.
Yeah. Do you, last but not least, how do you see the promotion of the basketball? Like, is it enough? Is it need to be adjusted?
I don't think it could ever be enough, could it, right? Because there's one thing in Rwanda, but, like our model is think global.
Yeah.
So what if you was to ask somebody in, Spain or Turkey or, the U.S., how do you feel about Rwanda? What do you know about Rwanda basketball? I would say probably 9 times out of 10, they wouldn't know very much.
Yeah.
And that should be really the goal, is to get massive exposure, you know, not just domestically but internationally. You know, to garner a lot of interest and support. Yeah, so I noticed when we had our two professional players who came from Chicago, Illinois to the U.S., and we started like, you know, making social media posts like that.
Yeah, sure.
Like, people are interested, you know. Oh, it looks like you guys are doing good, you know, that's interesting. Oh, you know, how's the league, you know, and it just, you know, they're very inquisitive and trying to figure out what is going on. Like, you know, they have basketball, you know, there's a league, and, you know, so I think that's something that could be developed further to gain. Can never be enough, you know, until you are a really, really strong, competitive, professional league, then there's always more work to be done.
All right, thanks for coming.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks for coming, and thanks for sharing how the team is doing and what to expect.
Can I show the audience my gift that I got from the girls? Get my gift, man. So this, we had the girls. I was gonna say girls' night out, but I guess that's not really the appropriate thing. We had a team dinner for the girls, and they just gave me this, which is really, really special. It's a gift that says
It's amazing.
Yeah, Azomco women's basketball.
That's amazing.
The cow horns and, you know, the outline of the country of Rwanda. So she explained it to me, her team captain, and I'm just really, really proud of the women's team. You know, I mean,
they're doing good.
Yeah, they're doing good.
They're doing good.
And this is just the start. Like, you know, we're just only 4 months old. You know, we have a lot of potential.
This is their first season.
First season, yeah. Very committed. Have really good attitude.
They're very competitive.
Yeah, and they really, you know, they really care about the team. They really care about the team. So I'm gonna take this home back to Qatar, and I'm gonna put it in my office, and I'm gonna be looking at it every single day, remembering, you know,
that's
how fortunate I am to have a women's team in
They're
Rwanda.
very caring, bro.
Yeah.
They're very caring. See you next time.
All right, bro. Keep up the good work, man, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
All right.
Good luck.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.